right, thank you for joining us again for another story on the Appalachian Trail from our 2010 through hike. We have just left Low Gap, and it's like 2 days out till we got to Hiwassee, Dix Creek Gap to go down to Hiwassee. And the funny thing that happened there, but first, about 15 miles before you get there, you come to the cheese factory. If you're ever hiking the AT, I highly recommend that you camp at the cheese factory. It's a nice level spot, 20, 30 tents, nice water source. But the great thing is at night, you'll be surrounded by 3 or 4 owls that serenade you all night to sleep. Every time we've camped there, it's been a peaceful, relaxing night with the owls all around us. But we get to Dix Creek and we walk out to the road. We have never hitchhiked before. We walk to the road, there's cars parked everywhere, and we're scared to hitchhike. We're looking at each other like, what do we do? We know it's like 9-mile hitch into town. We don't know how to get there. Well, we see this guy drop 2 hikers off, and he said, hey, y'all want to ride? He's in a beat-up vehicle, long beard. We're looking at each other. Finally, we say yes. We're both scared. We load our packs in the trunk. She's in the back seat. I'm in the front with him, going down the mountain. All I'm saying is, hey, can I give you some gas money when we get down there? Can I buy you a cup of coffee? Just filling them out. We're still scared to death because we don't know. About 2 miles before we get into Hiwassee, I realized I know this guy. He was the guy that was at Neil's Gap in the middle of the road telling us that the hostel was full, but we go to the cabins. Come to find out, his name was Lumpy, and we have met him so many times on the trail. He worked at Standing Bear after Curtis passed away. He now owns the Outfitters in Damascus, and all our through hikes we've run into him. He's helped us out, a cool guy. But we were afraid at first until I recognized him and said, hey, it's going to be all right. So we made it down to Hiwassee, stayed the night there, and while we're there, Sid, the one we left at the cabin, messaged Marcia and said, hey, my friend's going home. He's not having any fun. Do you mind if I hike with you all? And she was at the Blueberry Patch, which is now shut down there in Hiwassee, and we said, sure. So the next morning, we met up at Dix Creek, me and Marcia and her, and then she had talked to this young man from Maryland named John, and he ended up hiking with us. So we headed out together. We hiked to the next shelter after we made it to the Georgia-North Carolina line, and then made it up to the old crooked tree up there, gnarly tree that's still standing. Made it to the next shelter. Funny thing was that night, who of all people be camping right across from where we could see down in near the shelter was Country. And you remember he about blew himself up by getting his stuff there at Neil's Gap and hiking to Low Gap. We look over and he's hung his bear bag, and it literally is on a little tree branch in front of his vestibula, hanging down in front of his tent. So if the bear came, he'd eat the food and then get him. So we thought that was funny as well.
And then I just want to add that while we were in Dix Creek, he unloaded his pack. He got rid of his blue jeans and his cologne and everything.
Yep. Lightened my load. Figured I didn't need it for town anymore. I became a hiker then. So it felt good not carrying blue jeans and cologne in my backpack anymore. So that's it for now. And we've made it to North Carolina. And our next story is going to be probably, because we made it to Franklin, nothing real big happened. But going into the NOC, first storm. We'll just tell you that right now. So we'll have another story tomorrow. Thank you.